Hey, good morning. This message is not brought to you by Exfoliage. This message is brought to you by the House of David Bible News. This is broadcast number 2, John the Baptist. John the Baptist was born in the closing years of the reign of King Herod the Great. His parents belonged to a priestly family and lived in the Judean hills. They were both getting elderly and had no children. One day, his father Zechariah was on duty in the temple, and he received by lot the right to make the incense offering. The incense offering took place twice daily, early in the morning and mid-afternoon. To be the offering priest was an honor which some priests never received, and no one was permitted to perform it more than once. An animal was sacrificed and burnt outside, while the offering priest went into the most sacred part of the temple, the holy place, and poured the incense over a live coal on the altar there. As the smoke of the incense arose, the priest prayed for the blessing and peace of Israel. And when he emerged from the holy place, the priest concluded the service by pronouncing a blessing on the people. Things went a little differently when Zechariah was given the task, for he went into the holy place and an angel of God appeared to him. Zechariah was filled with fear at the sight of the angel, but the angel said to him, "Don't be afraid, Zechariah. Your prayer is heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you will call his name John. He will be a great prophet, another Elijah, and he will prepare the people of Israel for God's coming amongst them." Zechariah could hardly believe what he heard and he protested to the angel that he and his wife were so old it would be impossible for them to have a son. But the angel replied, "I am Gabriel, and I stand in the presence of God, and it is God who sent me to speak to you to tell you this good news. But because you have not believed my message, you will be struck dumb until the day when this promise comes true." And while the angel was still speaking with Zechariah, the people were praying outside, waiting for Zechariah to come out and pronounce the blessing. They wondered what was taking so long in the temple. When he did come out, he was unable to pronounce the blessing, and the people realized that he must have seen a vision in the temple. Zechariah was only able to make signs with his hands. When the period of service in the temple was ended, Zechariah returned home, and sometime later his wife Elizabeth, despite her advanced years, did become pregnant as the angel had foretold. When the time for Elizabeth to have her baby came, she gave birth to a son, and her neighbors all rejoiced with her how God had been good to her. And when the baby was a week old, they came to circumcise him, and they were going to name him Zechariah after his father. But his mother said, "No, his name is John." And they said to her, "But you have no relatives with that name," because it was customary to name after a name in the family. And they made signs to Zechariah, asking him, "What name would he like to have his boy to have?" And Zechariah asked for a writing tablet and wrote on it, "His name is John." And immediately he recovered his power of speech and began to praise God for all they had done for them. The people were astonished, and the story spread right through the hill country of Judea. So is the remarkable story told of the birth of John the Baptist. The Christmas story is a story about an angel announcing the birth of 2 babies, okay? Angel Gabriel went to Zechariah, the dad, and announced the birth in a non-virgin Elizabeth. Okay, and then the angel went directly to a virgin, Mary, and announced the birth. Okay, so Christmas is the story of an angel announcing the birth of 2 babies. One in a non-virgin, a married woman, Elizabeth, they've been trying, and Mary. Okay. Urgent. It says summer 26 AD. AM News. After the death of Herod the Great, the kingdom was split into 3 different areas, each ruled by one of Herod's 3 sons. The area of Judea was ruled by his son Archelaus, Galilee by Herod Antipas, and Galantis by Herod Philip. However, Archelaus ruled Judea so incompetently that after 10 years the Romans removed him and initiated direct rule from Rome through one of their own governors instead. Pontius Pilate came out from Rome in 26 AD as the latest of these governors. This was a time of fervent expectations that God would act, bringing the Messiah and a new era of sovereignty and peace. Many were disillusioned with the religious establishment in Jerusalem and went to the desert to prepare themselves for the coming of the Messiah. One of these, a prophet from the desert called John the Baptist, set up a ministry baptizing in the River Jordan. John announced that he was preparing the way for God to come among the people, and it was John who actually baptized Jesus.